Hello everyone, my name is Hugo and welcome back to my channel. I said it before, I was never the biggest fan of fantasy. Well, it was never my go-to genre, but yeah, I think The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson might have changed that, because I really love this book. This will be my first review on the channel, my first full review on the channel, so don't expect anything too professional or something. It's probably just me rambling a bit about how much I love this book. If you hear a zooming noise, that's my AC. I'm not turning it off, it's boiling hot in here, so I'm sorry. But yeah, let's just get into the review, shall we? I will try and keep this as spoiler free as possible, but I might talk about certain relationships between two characters. If you consider that as a spoiler, yeah, well, this is your warning. So we follow two main characters, Kelsier and Vin. Well, it's mostly Kelsier's story, I think, told from Vin's perspective, which in its own is a really cool concept, I think. Vin is a member of a thieving crew, and her crew doesn't treat her all that well, and that's an understatement. And Kelsier is the head of a thieving crew, and is also a pretty big name among thieves in the underworld. They cross paths, and Kelsier tries to recruit Vin for his crew because he sees a certain talent in her. When Vin learns that she is actually a Mistborn, which I will talk about later, she joins Kelsier's crew to work with him and train under him. Kelsier's actual plan with the crew is not to just rob something or anything like that. It's actually to overthrow the Final Empire itself and the immortal and considered all-powerful Lord Ruler with it. So it sounds pretty impossible to the whole crew, but Kelsier has a certain charisma, a certain leadership that they follow him. That's basically the plot. I'm not getting further into it, because if you want to know more, well, I suggest there's like almost 700 pages written more, so you can read that. Let's talk about the magic system. It's called Allomancy, and it's based on metals. So some people, not all of them, some people can burn a certain metal and then gain a certain power. For example, if someone burns pewter, they will have enhanced physical strength, right? And then in some rare cases, some of them, they can burn all the single metals and then gain all of the powers with it. So yeah, they are considered really powerful, and you shouldn't really mess with them. So Kelsier is a they're called Mistborn, and Kelsier is a Mistborn, and so is Vin. I really love this magic system because it has like strict rules. So when someone does something, it always makes sense, or there's always an explanation for it. It's called a hard magic system instead of a soft magic system, where sometimes the character does something which you think like the Force from Star Wars. That's a soft magic system, and sometimes you think, well, how does he do that? And then it's just like, that's a Force, because of the Force, right? So that's a soft magic system. That's a soft magic system. I prefer a hard magic system like this, or like Avatar: The Last Airbender. This book reminded me of Avatar: The Last Airbender, actually, because, well, some people can't bend or burn metals, some people can burn one, like most of them, and then some, or in Avatar it's only one, they can use all the powers. So in that way, it kind of reminded me of that. And then there's also the training concept, like Vin training under Kelsier and Aang training under whatever. So if you liked Avatar: The Last Airbender, which if you're a sane person you do, you're gonna like this book as well. Then let's talk about the characters. So we have the two main characters, Vin and Kelsier, both pretty cool in their own way, I think, at least. But also the crew members, but also the crew members from Kelsier's crew, at least, they're also pretty cool. Like especially Breeze, he has he's like the comic relief of the group. I really loved him, and Hammond as well, and actually all of them. And more specifically, the combination of all of them. Like their interaction with each other. There's a certain chemistry, there's banter and all that such. And when they're talking all together, like they're having a crew meeting, you kind of feel like you're sitting on the table with them and just listening to the meeting. And I guess I think that's it's very well done here. I think this book had only one flaw. It's a minor flaw. I can't really get into it without spoiling it, so I won't talk about it. But despite that one flaw, I still give this without a single doubt 5 stars, because it was truly amazing and I recommend it to everyone. If you read fantasy and you haven't read this one, go ahead, it's gonna be great. If you don't read fantasy like me, go ahead anyway, it's gonna be great. So I don't know if this review made a little sense, I hope some. It's my first one, so if you have any feedback at all on how to improve my reviews, let them know in the comments. If you have read this book and you want to talk about it as well, leave some. If you have read it and you want to talk about it in the comments, and I will respond. I'm sorry for the different camera angle, by the way. Just my tripods, my camera stand broke, and my phone is now resting on the couch, and this was the only, well, this was the best angle I could get, so it's a bit different. If I'm like wobbling around, it's because I'm how do you say it? I'm like not on my knees, but like this, right? I'm squatting, because if I sit down, you can't see me, so I'm like squatting, and sometimes I lose balance. But yeah, that was it for today, I guess. I hope you enjoyed. I know this review doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but yeah, as I said, you shouldn't have expected something too professional. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.